move this plus so you can see what we're doing? If this works. Not unplugging everything. Okay. Hopefully that's sort of visible. I'm going to tip this down a teeny bit. So it looks like I can go all the way out to here. I can go down to here. More or less, a little lower. And up to here. Wow, I'll be right. Okay. Let's start. Number 24. Everybody tuning in? We do need calm, cool, quiet attention. Elijah, quick question.
Well,
Do you have another problem to suggest?
no.
Okay. 24. Let's take a look. I don't know how visible that is to Sophie. You'll have to let me know. Jump on chat if you have anything. Okay, sounds good. All right. 24 looks like the following. Yeah, and I think there was a radical based problem. All right. 4 minus radical 2 over 3 radical 14. One thing to point out, this is not a hostage situation. Hostage situation is when there's a plus or minus. If it's just one old lump, then it's just a plain old radical. Elijah.
There's a radical in the basement, so
Correct.
3 radical 14 multiplied it by 3 radical 14 on both sides.
Right, that'll work. There are actually 2 ways to do this. I'll show you a shortcut, but you do not have to remember this. You could theoretically just multiply by regular radical 14 on top and bottom. That will work. But 3 radical 14 is fine. That's actually easy to remember. The regular radical 14 is easier, but this one's easier to remember. Yeah.
Can I keep going?
Go ahead.
Then that equals 12 radical 14,
Okay.
minus 6 radical 7, all over 100.
Okay, back up. Radical 2 times radical 3 times 3 radical 14 is what?
12 radical 14.
Yeah, it is. Well, yeah, 12 radical 14 is the first one.
Oh, okay. 3 radical 28.
Yeah, 3 radical 28.
Wait, no, that's wrong. 6 radical.
Now you got it right.
Okay.
What you did is we reduced it
Oh,
right.
okay, yeah.
The bottom
Um,
should be 3 times 3 is
9,
9. And then radical 14 times radical 14 is what?
14.
The number 14. Okay? Is everybody with me so far? Just that step is actually the key to solving the problem. The rest of it's going to be a little annoying, but it's doable. Does anything reduce before I start boiling things down? Good.
The
Okay.
12 and 3.
No, say again?
The 12 and 3.
How?
Or,
How
well, you
so?
can do a GCF
There's a GCF on top.
of 3.
There is. I would do something first. Radicals are usually things to take out first. Go.
7 or 4.
Yeah, this is radical 4 times radical 7. What is that really? 2 radical 7. Let me rewrite this whole thing. 12 radical 14. Don't be afraid of recopying, by the way. A lot of people think it's a waste of time. It is not. 3 times 2 radical 7. All over 9 times 14. Now can somebody reduce that a little bit? Go on.
The 3 and the 9.
They could, but
Oh,
there's a minus sign.
okay.
There is something I'd like to do here.
Multiply.
Yeah, multiply. What would you get? 12 radical 14 minus what?
6 radical 3.
6 radical,
Oh, 6 radical 21.
this is a number that is a radical. It's kind of like 3 times 2x. What's 3 times 2x? Just off the top of your head.
6x.
6x. So what's 3 times 2 radical 7?
3 radical 7.
What radical 7?
Negative. I don't know.
You're psyching yourself out.
Yeah.
What did you say 3 times 2x was?
6x.
6x. 3 times 2 something is 6 something. What's 3 times 2 radical 7?
Why am I using this?
6 radical 7.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Okay. All over 9 times 14. Suggestion now. What is it?
Can't you multiply 9 and 14
You could. Totally up to you. There's a reason why I actually wouldn't. You perfectly could. It's perfectly okay. What's the possible reason why I might not?
Because if you could reduce
If you can reduce first, it'll make your math easier. You were talking about a GCF, right? What's the GCF now? 6. You see why I stalled a little bit? Nothing wrong with pulling the GCF out early. That would have been perfectly fine. You would have had to pull out another one afterwards. So let's try that. The top has a GCF of 6. What's left behind? Okay.
2 radical 14.
2 radical 14. Minus regular radical 7. All over 9 times 14. Does anybody see a potential reduction? Sure.
Is 6 and 9.
Definitely. You reduce down to what? 2 and 3. Does anybody see another thing that reduces? It's hard to see. But, no. The 2 and the 14 go down to what? 1 and 7. Let me rewrite this. There's just a 1 in front, so you can ignore it. 2 radical 14 minus radical 7 all over, and this is now nice and easy, 21. That is pretty much all you need. And that's what the book says. So, does that make sense? Any other questions on this one? People with hands up, go.
I have 2 questions. First, could it be pulled out from the box a radical 7?
Could you pull out a radical 7? Yes, you could. The only time I would is if I hope it cancels. And if there's a radical 7 on the bottom, that would have been very clever, because it would have canceled and beautiful. And I tried that earlier, actually, and then I said, oh, nothing cancels. Oops. It's not bad to do. And if anybody pulled out a radical 7, I would not mark it wrong. It's just extra work you have to do, though.
Can you need to refold our a radical 14 so we can
Am I doing regular radical 14?
Yeah, can you do it?
Yes. Is everybody okay with this one? With this version? Yeah. Second question. You had it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Joe.
You do number 14.
I'll add that to the list. So I want to try number 24 in the other version. Oh, wow. It's been a while since I've used my towel, apparently. Very many levels. So anybody else need this as far as writing? I need it to erase. Okay.
No.
So what happens if I just multiply by radical 14? It goes like this. I'm going to kind of turbo this. Take a look up here and put the random stuff away, please, so it doesn't distract. For example. Thank you. All the way away, not just in the left. So times radical 14, radical 14 distributed. This is going to be 4 radical 14 minus radical 28 all over 3 times 14. And it's totally up to you if you want to multiply the bottom. There's nothing wrong with it. I said hold off because the reducing would be easier, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with reducing, or with multiplying that ahead of time. This reduces to radical 4 radical 7, which is 2 radical 7. Let me rewrite this. 4 radical 14 minus, minus 2 radical 7 all over 3 times 14. And again, you can multiply this to 42, totally fine. But we have a GCF on top. It's 2. 2 radical 14 minus regular radical 7 all over 3 times 14. And again, could have multiplied this to 42, no problem. But the 2 and the 14 reduced to 1 and 7. And we have 2 radical 14 minus radical 7 all over 21. It is a little faster if you do that. You have a little less reducing to do. Questions on that one? Otherwise, I'm gonna do 25, then I'll do a radical in the basement, then I'll do 14. 25 looks like, yowza. All right. Everybody good on this one, copying? Number 24? You understand this? Okay. And so if we are recording this on YouTube, we'll be much clearer. So if it looks crummy, you can check it out later. -25. -5 plus radical 2. Number 25. Over 3 minus radical 5. We have a hostage situation. Can somebody tell me how to cure it? Yeah, go on.
Multiply.
So,
Use that word that I keep forgetting.
starts with a C.
Conjugate.
Conjugate, nice. So what is the conjugate that we need to use?
3 plus radical 5.
Right. Make sure you don't do the conjugate at the top. We don't worry about radicals on top. We worry about radicals on the bottom. The conjugate is switch the sign in the middle. 3 plus radical 5. Just make sure you do that to the top and bottom, to both sides. Now what? Just wrapping these up to look neat. What's the next step? Go. FOIL. Go for it. -15.
Plus
-5 radical 5. Three radical 2. Radical 10, good. Radical times radical is radical. And the bottom, take somebody else. Athen, take this one. FOIL these for me.
9
Ah,
plus 3 radical 5
yep,
plus -3 radical 5
yes.
and 5
Plus or minus?
negative.
Yeah, -5, good. If there's anything simplified, keep going.
The 3 radical 5s on the bottom,
Yeah, what happens?
they cancel.
They cancel. What's left on the bottom? There's like,
9 minus 5,
which is
4.
4. The top, -15. Are there any like terms on top? Ted? No. Does anything simplify up there? Any perfect squares hiding in any of the radicals? No. What do we do? We're done. Yeah, -15 plus -5 radical 5 plus 3 radical 2 plus radical 10 all over 4, and we're stuck with it. That's why the answer looks so hideous, because nothing's simplified. Which is actually kind of good news for us, because we have no more work to do on that part. Doing okay on the 25? It's one that was actually a little less horrible to do than you might have thought by looking at the answer key. What do we hostage in the basement? Radical in the basement thing? So a quick extra example. Let's try, I don't know, 10 over 3, oh no, sorry. 10 over 4 plus radical 3. Tell me how to do that. Okay, Cece, take this one.
Okay. So you would multiply by the conjugate on top and the bottom.
Right, what would that be?
4 minus radical 3.
Good. Tell me how to do that.
We have to FOIL both numbers, so,
Yeah, and the top one's actually a little easier. You can just do what?
add a 0. So this should be.
Okay. What do you get?
40 minus 10 radical 3.
Good. 40 minus 10 radical 3 over what? Gentlemen?
16.
I should have your whispering. Yeah. Go ahead. 16?
16.
No.
Negative 4 radical 3.
Okay.
4 radical 3
Plus or minus?
plus.
Plus 4 radical 3.
And then, negative 3.
Minus 3. Correct. Does anything simplify once again?
Negative 4 radical 3 plus 4 radical 3 cancel.
Good?
And then we have 16 minus 3, which is 13.
Right. So you got 40, forgive me, plus negative 10 radical 3, all over 13. Does it look like anything's going to cancel? No. If this had been a 10 on the bottom, I would have pulled out a juicy out and canceled it down. But I don't think anything's going to cancel 13. Make sense? So what do you do with it? Leave it. You're done. Make sense? All right. Try number 14. I need a page back and find out what that is. Oh, I see. Second here. I'll leave that up there for a little bit. 14 is a factoring problem. And it looks like this. 9v squared minus 30v plus 25. Any suggestions? Max?
So,
Hello, here.
there's the really short way. And then
Yes.
You can do a magic pair, but
You could magic pair.
I did, what's it called?
You tell me.
Binomial squared.
Yes. What's the three-step pattern for a binomial squared, by the way? Elijah. Square the
Square
nine.
the first.
Square the first,
Double the product.
double the product, square the last. Does it look like it fits that pattern?
Yes.
Yes, it does. Max, take over again.
So 9v squared,
Must have come from what?
3v.
3v. They must have squared something to make square the first, and probably that's, what about the last?
5.
5. Question, plus 5 or minus 5?
Well, wait, yeah.
No, that would be. Go on.
Minus,
Why minus?
because, negative 33.
The double product is negative. So if you multiply and you get a positive, you'll never get the double product of negative. So it's 3 times negative 5 is negative 15, doubled is negative 30. And then there's one little thing missing. Yeah,
Square.
Square.
I have a question.
okay.
Could you find negative 3d plus 5? Because it goes in there.
Oh, interesting. Could you do negative 3b plus 5?
Because it goes in there.
Yes. You're correct. That would work. It's exotic, but yeah. People might scratch their heads at you, but hey, join the math majors of the world. Yeah, question.
3b minus 5, and then parentheses 3b minus 5 is 5.
If you have a double, 3b minus 5, 3b minus 5,
Yeah.
as long as neither of them are squared, yes, that's okay. That's what you would have gotten with magic pair, by the way.
Yeah.
3b minus 5, 3b minus 5. That is totally legit. It's longer than you need to do, but yeah. Good on number 14? Next. Any of the problems are fair game? Yeah. Number 6. You need to get one of those little sponges that they have in the bank where you can wet your fingers. Number 6, long division. By the way, in second year algebra, I've got an amazingly fun trick for long division. But I can't, well, maybe I'll show you near the end of the hour. I'll give you an example just to show you how awesome it is. But you'll have to wait till second year algebra to actually learn the technique. Okay, x squared minus 12x plus 20. Good number 6. Ladies, gentlemen. Actually, in this case, gentlemen. Let's take a look. Dividing by x minus 10. So set it up as a long division problem. I would have the opposites. Can somebody talk me through this? Elijah, go.
It is not, one number is not, or two numbers.
Two numbers cannot go into one, so there will be nothing here.
So x, we're all numbers into the first number.
Right, just the first term into the first. How many times does x go into x squared?
Once. I don't know what's my math.
Yes, exactly.
Do you know, and we already found out.
It equals what?
X.
It equals x. The reason I do that is because it's very easy to assume it goes in one time. It actually doesn't. It goes in x times. So put the x up here, and Bella, take over. What do I do with this x?
X times X.
Okay, x squared.
X times negative 10 equals negative.
Okay, what do you do with that?
Subtract, and then you add the opposite.
How many opposites?
2
Add the opposite, opposite. Go for it.
times out,
Cross out.
and then negative 2x.
Negative 2x, correct. Sarah, take over. Okay.
Does it
You
matter,
might want to ask before you get out of your chair, but yeah. Okay.
does it matter if you move the x to the left and just have it above the x squared?
In here, it is frowned on. That encourages math errors. And also, like later on, people, if you're, it's a really long story, but there's an algebra 2 technique that would mess up. So, I would say line them up, it looks nice right now. So, go ahead.
So we asked how many times can x go into negative 2x?
Yeah.
And that would be negative.
All right, I'll let you do that. Negative 2x over x is negative 2. I don't know, let's find out, yada, yada, yada. Okay, plus negative 2. What do you do with that?
You multiply negative 2 by x.
Oh, by the way, we forgot to bring down
Plus
1.
1.
Go for it.
Negative 2x times x is negative 2x plus negative 20. No, plus 20.
Regular 20.
And then add the opposite.
What happens?
All everything cancels.
Leaving you technically what?
0.
0. You have a remainder of 0. What do you do with that? Yeah.
You would go x minus 2 plus 0 over x minus 10, which is 0 because 0 divided by x minus 10.
Right. Technically speaking, if you had a remainder, you could do plus 0 over x minus 10. Since it's 0, you can ignore it. But that's the form you would put a remainder in. Please, for the love of all that's holy, do not put r blah 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 blah. And for the love of all that's holy twice, please do not put r0. Okay, that's sort of mathematically funny, yes, but I'm probably going to put a grumpy face on your test. So, don't do it. So, questions on this one? Next. Yeah, go on.
Can you do extra credit?
Extra credit, yeah, I suppose.
Can you do 29?
29?
Kind of.
Let's see if I can find it.
Last page.
Oh, there it is, okay, yeah. Oh, yes, solve. Remember to check for extraneous solutions. What that means is that remember restrictions? Everybody's favorite thing?
I remember.
They actually serve a purpose. If something is restricted, if they were to say, by the way, n cannot be equal to 7, and you get a solution of 7, guess what you have to do with it? Throw it away. Yeah. If you're forbidden to use 7 and somebody hands you a 7, it's kind of like saying, well, it's illegal to buy a stolen watch, and then I come up to you and say, hey, you want a watch? I go, oh, that's a holy question. You want a watch? Okay. You don't like watches. That's it. Everybody's buying it. Come on. Nobody's going to tell you. No! Get thee behind me, Satan. Go! You cannot, if something is forbidden, you're not supposed to do it. Okay, that's kind of like the definition. Let's try this thingy. This is number 29 for reference. I think my marker is still fresh enough to do this. 29, yeah, that's good enough. So n minus 5 equals radical 6n minus 38. And we're trying to solve for n. I want to know what n equals. What is causing this problem to be so annoying? Just be honest. What's the thing that really looks aggravating? The radical. Any ideas how to get rid of it?
Do you multiply x squared?
Different way of putting it. What does squaring it really mean? Actually, that's not quick, but
Square rooting?
they already square rooted it. So You're pretty, almost, like 99% already got there, Titus.
Don't you multiply by a radical?
Yes, there's a shorter way to do it, Athens.
Multiply by itself.
Multiply by itself, what's that called?
Mhm.
Squaring. Square this, as long as you do it to
Both sides.
both sides. The entire side. If you square the entire right side, you gotta square the entire left side, and that has an implication. We've seen this before. Oh, binomial squared people. Yeah.
Can I go to that one?
Oh, sorry, yeah, go ahead. Can we do the left-hand side for me? Yeah, Elijah.
N squared minus 25, no, 10 n, plus 25.
Good. Square the first, double the product, square the left. This side's actually easier. What happens?
36 m squared. Wait, no.
It's actually, that's like a lot easier.
Yep, is 6m minus 38.
Cancel, cancel. 6n minus 38. Squares and square roots cancel each other. Now, this is something we did a little earlier. How do you solve something if you have two species of n? Yeah.
You slaughter one. Oh, this is the cow.
Kind of. You could, if you get the answer to what? There's something called the blank product property. Yeah. Zero product property. The answer must get down to 0. Get the answer to 0. So tell me how. There are two things you gotta do on the right hand side. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Joe, take over. I want the answer to go down to 0. Tell me how to do that.
You add 38,
Definitely. And there's one other thing you have to do.
and then you.
I want to get rid of this too.
subtract
Subtract
6n,
6n. As long as you do it to
both sides.
both sides. And there's your shot cow there. So bam, bam, 0. Tell me what you actually get. Finish that up for me.
N squared, I can't see it.
That's right.
Plus negative 4n,
There are two negatives they'll join.
so 16n.
Negative 16n.
Plus 62.
Close. 63. Okay. Question, no math people. Does that factor? Yeah. Okay, so we got n and n. And then what? Can you think of two numbers that add up to negative 16 and multiply to be positive 63?
Oh, 63.
Yeah,
N minus 7, N minus 9.
got it. Somebody give me the oh, did you? Sorry,
She said it,
my bad. So, actually, fell, finish it up. Something times something, gentlemen. I shouldn't have to do this. Okay. Ah, right. What you did in the middle, n minus 7 equals 0, or n minus 9 equals 0. Zero product property. And yeah, if you can do it in your head, that's great. N equals 7, and n equals 9, if you add it down to both sides. Question. Were any of these restricted? Was there any denominator that said you can't use those? Like, is there anything that forbade us to use n equals 7? No. Anything that forbade us to use n equals 9? No. Should be safe. Both of them are your solution. Yeah,
Can you do number 27?
maybe. Actually, tell you what, I want to show you something pretty, it's kind of sort of slick. And by the way, number 27 is the same trick as this. Get the answer down to 0. Then you should be able to solve by magic there. Actually, no, it's even better. That's solved by GCF, believe it or not. Factored by GCF. You can pull an X out. Is that okay on number 29? I want to show you something, it's actually pretty slick. You're not supposed to be able to do this yet. You're not even supposed to have seen this yet. But I just wanted to show you. x minus 3 dividing into x to the 4th plus 8x cubed minus 3x squared plus 2x minus 5. I'm going to turbo this one because it's going to take a while. And the opposite. And the opposite. Okay. Ding, ding. 2 doesn't go into 2. So, no, whoops, sorry. Duh. 2 doesn't go into 1, but 2 does go into 2. How many times is x going to x to the 4th? I don't know. Let's find out. X to the 4th over x is equal to x cubed. So I'll put this here. X cubed. X cubed times x is x to the 4th plus negative 3x squared cubed. Sorry. And the opposites, this should be canceled. It should be 11x cubed. Nice. Bring down the negative 3x squared. Then how many times is x going to 11x cubed? I don't know. Let's find out. 11x cubed over x.
No, it goes in 11.
It's 11x squared times plus 11x squared. Nice. So multiply that is 11x cubed plus negative 33x squared. Add the opposite. Yuck. So we got 30x squared. Bring down the 2x. Phew. Hold on a second. Does that? Yeah. Question. Yeah. Go ahead. So we've got x going into 30x squared. I don't know.
30x.
Yeah. I don't believe you until now. Okay, now I believe you. Plus 30x. So 30x times this thingy.
30x squared.
Hold on.
Which would
Ooh,
later
nice
become a
marker.
negative.
Plus
That would become
negative
a
90x.
Might now become positive.
I think that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
So add the opposite. We now have 92x plus negative 5. How many times does x go into 92x? I don't know.
92.
Don't
92.
spoil my fun. It's equal to 92. We've got plus 92. 92 times x is 92x.
Which will become a negative.
92.
Oh my word.
Positive.
Negative 276.
Whoa.
Positive 222.
Hold on a second. Add the opposite. Positive 271. Okay, plus 271 over x minus 3.
What?
What's the point of this?
Yeah. First of all, I gave you great exercise.
Okay, I have a question.
Second of all, yeah, go.
Well, it's not enough.
All right. Okay. Watch here. This is an algebra 2 trick. In your opinion, which type of division is easier? With letters or without? Without. People have been doing that for years. You know, all the years you complained about long division, you never knew. So now, please give me the good old-fashioned days of long division.
Yeah.
Please give me 13 dividing into 1,824. I'll do that all day long. Please don't let me do this again. First of all, this is your friend, so don't get into a bad relationship with it. Second, I'm going to change this to x minus 3. Again, I'm going to kind of give you some code words. This will make a lot more sense in second year algebra. This is sort of like a miniature box. Inside the box, I'm not making this up, is what we call the box number. The box number comes from here. If you set it equal to 0, can you solve that? Can you do that in your head?
Yeah.
What would you get?
3.
3. That's your box number. That's actually the most complicated math you'll have to do in this.
Seriously?
Now, do you see this string here? You said that not letters is easier? I agree. What number's in front here?
1.
I'm just going to put that here. What's the next number?
8.
8.
Negative 3.
Negative 3.
2.
2.
Negative 5.
Negative 5. Skip a line, draw a line. And the thing I find absolutely hilarious about this, we're doing a division problem, and the one thing you will never have to do in this problem is divide. Watch this. This is to show you just how, this is kind of miraculous. Just remember, this was 1x to the 4th, right? Does everybody see, like, if you divide an x out, that the power gets a little lower? If you rip an x out, you have 1 less x. That's going to happen here. But watch. All you have to do is add and multiply. That's all you have to do. I'd like you to add down. So what's 1 plus nothing? Excellent. Congratulations. You're a fifth of the way down. Now, here's the trick. Multiply this to the box number.
3.
3. Put it here.
Oh.
Now do it again. Add.
11.
Multiply.
30,
Add.
30,
Multiply.
90.
Add.
92.
Multiply. Is 276?
76.
Do these numbers look familiar to you?
No.
Oh. That's.
1, 11, 30, 92, 271. Click, 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 you are done.
Okay, but wait, you know, how do you get all the other stuff?
All this stuff? Remember this used to be 1x to the fourth?
Uh-huh.
And you said that ripping an x out makes them go drop one?
Uh-huh.
This is 1x to the
Can
third.
we just do that?
11x squared.
I know, right?
30x plus 92. Just remember, this is the remainder.
So over.
X minus
Well,
2.
that's like the easiest thing.
Oh.
This is called synthetic division.
Can you break that down? Not.
Yeah, so wait, Messi?
Yeah, do you see her paper?
It is a phenomenal shortcut to long division.
What the heck?
There's a catch.
Good job.
Oh, Mark, you can't use it.
Catch.
I need to touch it.
This is an algebra 2 catch. You're not even supposed to know this yet.
Okay.
But there's a catch. It only works if you divide by a plain old x minus a number or x plus a number.
Oh, so what if you have like 3 terms?
If you divide it by 2x plus 5, game over. You gotta do long division. Okay? I'll tell you what, if anybody has any additional, we gotta cut out of here. If anybody has any additional questions, ask me during study hall or later. Or send me an email. Freeze where you are, let's pray. I'm going to send you on your way. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit. As it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. All right, God bless you all. On your merry way. Thanks, Obi. I didn't record you.